Hi, in this first lesson you're going to be looking at fingerspelling and numbers. Go through the fingerspelling video carefully. I just want to make sure that you remember that your palm should always space out. So when we sign ABC, we shouldn't sign ABC. We don't want to turn the wrist. So you're going to keep your palm out on C. There's also a flinch to turn your wrist on O. We shouldn't turn the wrist on O. The palm should stay out. Technically, the palm is out on every letter. Even if you consider P and Q, the palm is still facing forward. The only hand shapes that twist the wrist are G and H. Some people will sign G and H straight out or this way, but they do not flip like this. Okay, those are the two that turn in. So we want to keep our palm out on the letters. As we're practicing signing words, we want to make sure we have a nice smooth transition from letter to letter so we're not pausing or hesitating in the middle of a word. And you know, in a classroom, my students will fingerspell together every day for 10 minutes to practice. On an online class, you don't have an opportunity to practice with someone. I would strongly suggest you use the website that's listed in the lesson, www.asl.ms. It is a fingerspelling practice website. It gives you a chance to see fingerspelling. Obviously, it's a computer hand, so it's not the perfect scenario, but it is better than nothing. If you are going to use that site to practice, please do not start out on the slow speed. Definitely start out at least at the medium speed and move your way up. And as you're practicing the words and translating, you want to avoid thinking letter. Like if you're seeing, you don't want to think C-A-T. Oh, that's cat. You want to think phonetically, at. If you just only look at the letters, it'll be a long time before you can actually understand the fingerspelling with ease. You really need to think about the sound and the phonetics involved. So that website is nice because as you get better, you can increase your speed. You can also pick, I only want 3-letter words, or I only want up to 4-letter words as you're starting out. Fingerspelling is pretty easy to learn how to do yourself. And after practicing for a little bit, you can get pretty smooth with it, with your delivery. But understanding people is really, really difficult. People, skinny fingers, long fingers, short fingers, fat fingers. A lot of deaf people don't spell really well because English is their second language. So a lot of times you're dealing with a misspelled word that you have to be able to understand on top of the speed that they might be using. So you have to practice or you will not master it, period. So if you don't have a friend or someone who's taking the class with you who you can practice with, you should practice on that website. I have some additional resources, some additional websites that you could go to practice fingerspelling and to see a lot of fingerspelling. If you're interested in that, you can email me and ask me for those links and I'll get those to you. Numbers, the same thing. We don't speak numbers all the time. We find them in phone numbers, addresses, social security numbers. They do pop up in our speech patterns, but they're not something that are heavily focused on. So again, if you're not practicing them, they are going to be hard to catch in signing. You have to practice. Mastering the numbers yourself. The lesson explains that there are a few oddities. Your 16, 17, 18, and 19. Sometimes you'll see them as a shake like this. But the formal sign is a 10 to a 6, a 10 to a 7, a 10 to an 8, and a 10 to a 9. 21 has been modified for speed. 22, 23 has been modified. Or 24 and 25 has been modified. Other than that, when we get into some of the numbers that use the 6, 7, 8, 9, you'll see the 6 go up to the 7, the 6 go up to the 8, up to the 9, just for clarity. The same way the 9 would drop down to the 6, or drop down to the 7, or drop down to the 8. It just helps the person watching see it more clearly, so it's not all bunched up together and tight. So practice your numbers, practice your fingerspelling, and don't assume that as soon as this lesson's over with, you don't have to worry about fingerspelling and numbers anymore, because you do. Fingerspelling is going to be involved throughout your encounter with this language. So it needs to be practiced. It needs to be rehearsed. Your introduction, please read the questions carefully and include all the information in your introduction, and spend an adequate amount of time practicing your finger spelling. Set aside 10 minutes a day to work with that website or to practice with the other websites that if you are interested in, I can give you. So practice those things, and then we'll be ready to start our next lesson where you actually start signing to me. I'm looking forward to those videos. Thank you.